folks, we're moving on to the later English colonies now. So we had our first 3 big ones, and now it's time to get to the original 13 colonies. The good news is you don't have to learn details about all 13 of the original colonies. We're only going to focus on a few key ones, but you'll have to identify the location of all 13 on a map, so make sure you're working on that. So the first colony we're going to focus on is a colony that left Massachusetts Bay. Remember, they had that theocracy, and anyone who spoke out against them was banished or executed. One of the guys who was banished, his name was Roger Williams. And Roger Williams agreed with a lot of the Puritan ideas, but he believed in something called freedom of conscience, which means freedom of thought. It's okay for you to think what you want. You shouldn't get in trouble for that. And that's the kind of thing that Massachusetts was doing, was arresting people for acting differently, thinking differently. And he totally disagreed with this. So he went and started a colony called Providence Plantations. Which you're probably thinking, that's not one of the original colonies, because that's not a state. Well, it's actually half the name of one of our states. Later, it grew a little bit and included a place called Rhode Island. And so its name is Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. And you can go ahead and look up the name of Rhode Island, and that is the actual name of the state. So ironic, one of the smallest states, biggest name. But we'll call it Rhode Island. So he starts it, and someone else starts part of it too. Her name's Anne Hutchinson. And she's actually a Baptist, and so she's kind of breaking off of the Puritan church a bit. And he's totally cool with her. She's cool with him. They're not together though, although my hint to remember them is rawr. Huh? All right. Roger Williams, R. Anne Hutchinson, A. Make Rhode Island, R. So, a guy, a girl, rawr. So, here it is in slow motion. I hope you got it now. So they make Rhode Island, and the important thing about Rhode Island is it's a little bit more freedom of religion, but it's really that freedom of thought. It's okay to think differently. It's okay to express your ideas that are different. All right, this is a key thing in the United States today. You're allowed to have any opinion you want. You can think anything. You can say it, and you're not going to get arrested for it. The government's not going to lock you up. So that was a pretty key thing that they made for us. The next colony I want you to know a little bit about is Connecticut. And there's not a whole lot. I want you to know the founder and the main government document they created. So the founder's name is Thomas Hooker. I love Thomas Hooker's name because it makes it so easy to remember him. All right, we're talking about Connecticut. Connect, I cut. That's how you spell it, if you ever wondered. So you have a connector, Thomas Hooker. Connect, hook. Thomas Hooker made Connecticut. Boom, easy. Right? He's another one that broke off of Massachusetts Bay. And the reason that I want you to know him is because he made a document called the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, the FOC. And yes, on the test, I want you to know Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, not its abbreviation. So, what did these do? This was actually the first written constitution in the United States. Now, it's not the United States' first constitution. It's the first one in the English colonies that will later be the United States. And we already talked about the first written government, which was the Mayflower Compact. This is different. You're actually going to look at the Mayflower Compact in a later thing, and you're going to see it's really short, not detailed at all. It's basically saying we're going to work together, we won't be crazy, and we'll use majority or democratic rule to figure out stuff. The end. Everybody signed it. That's it. This is detailed. It's very detailed about what the function of government is, what it can do, what it cannot do, the different roles of people in government. So it's a very detailed plan of government. And our Constitution is partially modeled off of this. So it's a pretty big deal. So the first written constitution in the United States is the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. And Connecticut Constitution, they both start with C-O-N. So that should help a little bit.